Hello, we're back. I'm still under the weather a little bit, so welcome to the Seekers Chronicles Paranormal Historians, where history meets paranormal. And tonight we got a pretty good guest, and we should be able to be talking soon to him. And so, Jenny, where
Yeah,
have what's going on? I know you always do something on the weekends, so
you
I
know,
know you
you
did
know it.
something like a fort.
I did. I did. I had an investigation Saturday night with Full Moon Paranormal and Bearfort Paranormal at Fort Decker in Port Jervis, New York. When I say Fort Decker, you picture a fort, right? This big, huge thing. It's this tiny little building, this little thing. And none of us knew what to expect, really. And it ended up being super active and really interesting.
Yeah,
I got the basement, of course, because that's how I roll.
they what's that sticker in the basement? Nobody wants
Always.
the
I'm
basement.
like
Give it to
attic,
Jenny.
or
You like
I
Mikey?
always like the
She
basement.
likes it.
Yeah. I love the basement.
I
So yeah, it was really good. Really good.
I oh
So I had a good time. Had like 30 people there who came to investigate, and I got lots of good feedback and really happy that I went. Poor Anthony,
good.
not feeling good.
I haven't been feeling good since my surgery a couple weeks ago, and it's just continuing. And I have to get
It
better because I
sucks.
got the this weekend. I have the cryptic and paranormal festival
Right.
to go
Right.
do to show my
Yep.
the spirit art. So I have to get myself better because the way I feel right now, I can't even get myself out of bed. You know,
That's not good. Maybe you need an antibiotic or something, really.
yeah, I need something.
Just
I haven't gone to the doctor because it's I haven't had time to yet. So I
Yeah,
mean,
I know.
but
Well, you know how it is. You got to take care of yourself because we need you. Any phantom footsteps? No, no phantom footsteps, but lots of other stuff. Lots of good stuff, actually.
so um, excuse me. Um, yeah,
Oh, no
so
worries.
yeah, I seen the pictures of it, and you're right. It's like a little building. I thought it was gonna be this big fort,
Yeah.
like on the river, with cannons and everything, and there's a little
No,
fort there. You
no,
know, so that's
no,
interesting.
no.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it had some really good stories about it. Really like there were some Native Americans who were on the side of the loyalists and they burned it down. And you could see that there was a beam left that had like like it was like a charred beam that had remained like in the basement. It was really cool. Like it was like living history. And we got some really good. I don't often do the Estes method. I'm just not good at it. But we had someone who really, really was, and it was really kind of mind blowing.
Well, you had some good people there. I mean, you had some good people
We
there,
did.
and it was
Yeah,
the people you're there are all professionals that are helping you.
sure
Chuck
are.
and,
Sure
and
are.
Chuck and his wife, and it was
Not Chuck,
very good people.
Robert. Robert
Robert,
Bandoff and
Robert,
and Sandra.
and Sandra.
Hmm.
I mean, some good
Uh-huh.
people there. So it was
Very.
good. It was very nice. So
Yeah.
um, I, I don't know where Chris went because I don't see him behind stage.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
see
Oh,
him.
here he goes. Okay. Um, so you want to introduce
So,
our guest today?
yeah. Yeah. Unless you have anything to add about your weekend.
My weekend I spent home, not feeling good, and that was it.
Oh, that stinks.
I've
That
been home for
stinks.
like 2 weeks now, not
That
feeling good.
stinks.
So
I
so
just
it
want to
is
make
what
a
it is.
quick announcement that tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be on Paranormal Among Us. That's a podcast that is
Oh,
run by Paul, who is our guest last week. I don't know if you guys remember anybody who was
yeah.
here last week. Um, he does that podcast, and so I'm going to be on that tomorrow night.
It's a
Paranormal
good
Among Us.
podcast. Very good. I've been
Yeah,
on it, so it has to be good.
and he went at first. He went first. You know how it is. Age before beauty.
Yeah, that's what they have to do. So
Yeah. Yeah. And we got
um,
some other ones coming up that we're going to be on as well. So we'll let you guys know. So you
yeah,
can hear us talk even more. You're
yeah.
not sick of us.
Gets tired of our voice. I know I get tired of my own voice sometimes.
Oh,
So
no, stop.
Jenny,
Stop.
you want to be
It
honest?
was Memorial Day as well, by the way. So I see that Mary
Oh
Beth did a
yes.
cemetery walk.
Well, yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry. I've been so out of it. I usually visit the
no,
cemeteries,
it's okay.
and
It's okay. That's great.
I thank
That's
everybody for
really,
the
really good.
service. The memorials, the people that
Yeah. Yeah. We
didn't come home.
remember you for sure.
You know, my father was
Yeah.
over there, and
Interesting.
I know about all that stuff. So I think it's time to start invite. Tell
Yeah.
tell everybody who our
Sure.
guests are.
Okay. This is going to
Okay.
be a fascinating show tonight. Absolutely. We've got a lot of people coming in now. So um, tonight we have paranormal researcher and fellow Hollow guest. The Hollow, I can wear my Hollow shirt tonight from last year. Chris Mack is with us tonight. He's actually a sponsor of the Hollow, aren't you, Chris?
Yep.
One of the sponsors.
Well,
And
welcome to the show.
And I'm also
And we
the
also
Hi.
and
Oh my god! Oh my god!
we're going to introduce you, but somebody put you on before we could.
I know, and I'm going to make sure that I can read your how you want to be called. Oh, you're at the Enfield House. What date is that? It's so tiny.
1771. You got a bigger
1771.
monitor or
Jay-
bigger binoculars
Jay,
on your
correct?
glass?
It's Jay. I'm Mackenzie, by the way.
Yeah.
Jay and Elka, right?
Mackenzie, I'm the daughter.
Jay.
I'm Jay.
Oh, you're the
This is
daughter.
Jay
Okay,
here.
we haven't
Yep.
met. So, what's your
I'm
name?
Mackenzie, by the way.
Becca
I'm the
Mackenzie,
daughter.
she's my daughter.
Mackenzie. Hi, thanks for being here. Okay, this is just
Okay.
last minute for me, so I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And
I'll
also,
go-
I obviously don't be offended because I can't see you. You
sorry.
don't look like his wife. I just couldn't see you without my reading glasses.
Okay, we'll be checking in a
Welcome.
few
Welcome.
minutes.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for
Thank you for
having
having
us.
us.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Oh, even better. Okay, great. Well, thank you for being here. Chris talks about this all the time to me, and so he was like, "You got to meet them. You got to hear about this." And I have other friends who are investigators who have been there, so I can't wait. I can't wait to hear about it. So thank you for showing up tonight.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having us.
Thank
on.
you.
So should be a good show
Appreciate
tonight. It's very interesting. Everything is
Yeah,
in the house, and
you have
investigations have been there. I hear
absolutely.
nothing but I hear nothing about your place about being extremely haunted. So
Right,
can you hear me?
we can.
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay.
Don't mind. I don't mind me, guys. I'm deaf on this ear, so if I turn this way, just to hear you better. I lost a lot of hearing overseas, so yeah.
I know. Good. I'm blind in this side, and I can't see here. Only shit out this side. So
I know. We're going like this.
yeah, I'm like, so yeah, I understand that perfectly.
I love it. You guys will be like the.
I know. I'll be like, what? He'd be
Okay.
like, I can't see.
So Chris,
Jay, we'll get through it.
Yep.
We're gonna get through it.
yeah, we'll get through it somehow. We go in 2 hours to try to get it right.
Yeah,
So
I can't
Chris,
believe we
how'd you
haven't
get
met.
into
It's so
the paranormal and everything? How'd you get into, going to the infield house?
well, I started off. I started off when I saw them with Get Haunted, basically,
Okay.
and then right from there, I started. I started to realize I felt the energy, and I said, I got to go to this house because I can feel it calling to me because I felt connected. I don't know why, but I had it. I kept telling myself I got to go there. I don't know why. So I thought, check it out, and I was impressed.
Nice.
right. Yeah,
So you got
I think we all understand what that feels like. Who are in the field. Like one
Yeah.
of the questions we often ask on the show is there a place that calls to you? And so you've already answered it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We get it. We get it. Yeah.
I stayed there for 2 nights, and 2 active nights was really impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's. I mean, that's when you go to a good location and you get you get so much evidence, then you just have to keep on going back and back
Mhm.
and back. And it's not that you feel like you're gonna get any more evidence. It's just that you feel you have to go back and calls you.
Mhm.
So I have places like that too. So just calls you, not like I said, but it sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. So
Yeah.
Jay, how long do you own the house?
What's that?
How long do you own the house?
We bought the house in the fall of 2006, so almost 20 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And how fast did you notice it being had activity?
Well, I kind of felt it right off the bat, but I just shrugged it off as it's an old house, you know, and I didn't really believe in ghosts because of what I used to do. So it took a lot for me, but when I came face to face with something that was otherworldly, my mind was like, I couldn't compute, you know, and I said, it's almost like that M&M's commercial where they meet Santa Claus and he goes, you know, where he's like, he is real. And I'm like, you know, you're like, oh my God, you know?
Yeah.
That's a perfect analogy.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah.
I love that. Like when he faints, like they are real.
Yeah.
So were you pretty skeptical before that?
Well, I used to hear all kinds of weird stories, you know, and I used to watch the shows, but I didn't, you know, I kind of had intuition probably from my grandmother, but to come face to face with something and have something reach out and touch me, you know, I was kind of more of a skeptic, especially what was happening. I didn't believe that of that intensity, but then I realized I was up against something that I had no idea what I was about to face.
Mm, yeah.
Pretty quickly.
And then you have to you have to realize, wow, and I got to live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I understand.
And the house is
They
quite
always
old,
they always
right?
show
Like
people in these haunted locations. There's somebody in the audience, you know, on the show, something say, "Oh wow, why don't they move? You can't afford to move.
Yeah.
You just soak your money into a house. You're not going to go nowhere. It's not you can't without losing money."
And the other thing is, we tried moving 3 times, and every time we went to move, something would happen, and we end up staying here. So that was the other thing too. Yeah.
Wow. And you now, Mackenzie, you weren't born yet.
No,
right?
waiting for my time. Yeah, I'm 19, so.
God, I feel like I'm vintage. God.
I was going to say, when you said 2000, I'm like, there's no way 20 years so that you were there yet. Okay,
No.
You were born, right? Okay,
Born in the house, so
okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
growing up with it. So.
Oh, nice. Okay,
One crazy story.
and it's just you?
Oh,
You have a sibling?
Hang on. All I have to say is this house, it's like a horror movie. Like out of a horror
Oh
movie.
no.
I'm telling you. This whole story is real, but it's like out of a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think we got to clarify that the Enfield house that we're talking about it's in Connecticut, New York, in Connecticut, United States.
Correct.
People asking if it's in England, because there is one in England.
Yep, it's the one that Lorraine actually refuses to step in the house.
Yeah. So
Lorraine
Warren.
Yeah, she refused to come out to the house until the day she died. She wouldn't come out.
Really?
She wouldn't come out to your house?
Yeah.
She wasn't that far from you guys.
No, she wasn't.
No.
She got the call from a friend of ours, Orlando Ferrante and Joe Franks at the time, and she asked what happened, and they told her, and she was really smart. She said, "You're leaving something out," and Orlando said, "You got to tell her, Joe." So Orlando said, "Hey, it picked up this girl Audrey and threw her 8 feet down the hall," and then Lorraine says, "I'm so sorry, I can't come out."
Oh wow.
Well.
Wow. 8 feet
So
down.
did you end up getting, I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but someone did help you, I hope, if not her.
We did. And guys, I could tell, like Chris knows, the story's twists and turns. I could spend days telling what happened and how it happened. I think we're going to jump ahead, almost like one of those movies. We're jumping ahead and we're going to go back, almost like Once Upon a Time in America, you know?
Okay, or
but
start wherever you like. You can start at the beginning, the middle, or the end. You decide.
all right, we'll kind of start in the middle, and so people understand that we did get some help. We were we got in contact with one of the best paranormal guys I ever met in my life. His name was Bob Baker, and Bob had he had the connections like to Bishop Robert McKenna. He knew Father Bailey. He knew a lot of the high profile priests and exorcists.
Mhm.
So when I
Right.
told Bob the whole story way back there early on, Bob said, if this is really true, he goes, I cannot put one foot in a house without a member of a clergy. He goes, I've been attacked, I've been bit, I've been scratched, been thrown against the walls. He goes, so if this is real. So Bob didn't want to get involved, but he ended up getting involved. He got hurt here. And he called in first Father Bailey, and that didn't work. And then he brought in Bishop McKenna, and there's a whole story behind that. Bishop McKenna got messed with really bad here. So Bob said we did everything we could. He goes, do as many TV shows as possible. Somebody out there is going to see it and offer help. So after a third show, I got a phone call from a gentleman by the name of J. Dodd and Reverend Neil Furley. And they said, we can help. But it came with a high price for J. Dodd. J. Dodd almost died. But that's a whole story right there. Yeah. So
That's terrible.
after 2 days of fighting, the house felt calm. It felt peaceful. We were always on the alert, on the vanguard, because we didn't know if it was going to pop up. So at that time, I got into a severe car accident, and my real estate agent said, why don't we convert the house back into a duplex? And that's where it started up again. But this time, that one evil thing is hiding somewhere. We were told it's sleeping. So we don't know where. But like I said, it's twists and turns. So as we get into the story, it'll be almost like puzzles. Things will come together, right, Kenzie?
Yeah.
So where do you guys want to start, Chris? I mean, Chris is awesome. Chris said to me 3 years ago, I'm going to come up to Enfield House. I said, when you do, I'll give you the biggest birthday surprise ever. So we did an extra special thing for him.
Mhm.
So he kept saying it. And then all of a sudden he says, hey, Jay. I'm like, yeah, Chris. He goes, I'm coming up next week. I'm like, okay, Chris. Alka's like, no, he's really coming up. And I'm like, okay. So I said, plan on 2 days and we're going to give you something that we don't give too many people, where we give them a whole tour so everything fit into place for them.
Right.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it was awesome.
Understood. Right. Right. So
I
when was
actually-
this? 3 years ago?
I actually told Jay, prove to me that your house is not haunted. It's haunted.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you went in thinking, I need some proof.
Yeah, because I want proof
That's
that
good.
it is haunted because I keep feeling energy in that house.
Chris, did you ever have a dream about the house before you went?
The house?
Mhm.
No, not exactly. Because because the
all?
reason why I say that is because I think the spirits like me. Because they know
Oh,
who I am. Basically, they know who I am. They know what I'm doing, basically. So,
gotcha.
and they know
Gotcha.
I don't provoke, and they know. So,
Right. So you would, just for people, for our guests who don't know you, Chris, like
Yep.
I do, you're a sensitive. What do you call yourself? Do you call yourself a psychic? Do you call yourself a medium? What do
Excuse
you
me,
call
guys.
yourself?
a little bit here and there, but it's all depends on what I feel and what I
Okay.
see.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and labels aren't necessary. I'm just trying to get people to know you.
But
Did you always feel like this? Did you always have intuition
Sorry, guys, I
your
have to
whole
start.
life?
I got something. I'm
somewhat.
you guys.
But this house, for whatever reason, they had a psychic come inside the house one time.
Mhm.
and I was doing research on the house.
You're better. So
And
I'm okay. It makes my shoulder tense.
right before the sidekick said to them about pirates, I actually did some research with one click. It said about, and I said, "Is there a curse in the Enfield?" And then I did research, and there was, and it said pirates, right,
Oh,
like 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, how did this pop up right before I even know the answer to it?
right.
Hmm.
Yep.
Right. And I investigated with you recently
Yep.
at Penhurst a little bit, not for too long, but enough that I got to see you work a little bit. That was a good night.
Yeah, you're gonna see me do a little
Anthony
bit
was
more.
there.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
I
see
was
me do
there.
a little bit more at the
Yeah, I was there. And Jenny, you forget me, yeah?
I just said you were there, but you
Yeah.
weren't there with it when I was with Chris.
No, you went off. You went off, and I forgot who I was with. I walked.
We went off in the woods.
Yeah,
I'm
you
very
went
big
off in
into
the woods.
outdoor investigating.
You're
Yeah,
going to the
Chris
woods.
and I went out into the woods.
So my
Um,
three locations I've been working on is Penhurst,
mhm,
Ledgeworth, and the Enfield house.
Mm-hmm.
I've
perfect.
been working on. That's
All
all I
great
need.
ones.
That's where it's. I've been there
Yeah.
quite a few times. So.
That's all I
I love
need
Letchworth.
for now
I've been
because
in
it's
the cemetery in Lethbridge, and that's very active there.
Yeah,
But the cemetery is
yeah.
very active.
yeah, that's all I need basically because I don't need to go any more deeper to do the research because it'd be too much for me.
Yeah, it'd be overwhelming.
Yeah.
You
No, it's good. It's good to
do a little
focus.
bit at a time. Be careful.
Yeah.
So
So, Chris, you
Mackenzie,
first went to the Enfield house 3 years ago? When was that,
It
Jay?
I'm sorry.
was actually in the beginning of the March.
Of this year.
Yes.
Oh, okay. This year.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
okay.
year.
My bad. Okay.
Not too long ago.
So this was the first year you've been there. Okay.
Yep. And I said I actually told him I'm definitely coming back.
Mhm. That's awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think what I was saying is that back in 2003, he kept saying for 3 years, I'm going to come up, I'm going to come up. So I said, well, when you do come
Oh,
up,
okay.
we'll
That's
do
why.
all
Yeah,
work
Okay.
Adam.
for you. And
I guess something. What did he say?
what was that?
Adam had a question for you.
Yeah.
Right. He asked if you felt energy from other places or just this place.
A lot of other places, but Ledgeworth, I can feel numbness because it feels shot. And but Penner's, same thing, feels shot, numb. But the Enfield, really, really high energy. It's up there.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Mackenzie,
yeah.
when is the first experience that you really, I mean, as an infant, because it sounded like you were there after.
I would say probably when I started being like 7 years old, really started like growing up. I mean, definitely
Mhm.
experiences when I was younger. My parents do recall for me, but I mean, definitely, being as a kid, you're playing around in the house and, you're not really understanding much. So, I used to start like, banging on the cabinet doors when my dad was cooking. And all of a sudden, it used to actually knock right back at the same knock I did like 3 times. And all of a sudden, I went,
Oh wow!
and then after that, I was like, okay, no more playing games like that because
So you didn't have any friends, any they call imaginary friends back then. Do you have any of
No.
those or?
my
Any-
sister did actually.
Courtney did.
Okay.
My sister did. So
But Courtney's imagination friends, they didn't play nice. One was actually really bad.
Really?
Yeah. That was not, I didn't believe it until I literally saw it. Yeah.
Does she still see that friend? Or?
No, we told it to go, and then another one came in with a really weird name, and but she wasn't mean. She just the way I imaged it was like a young teenage girl who was like rebellious, experimenting with alcohol, and maybe committed
Mhm.
suicide. And I think she attached herself to Courtney, and she was kind of like a tough girl. And
Okay.
her name was Exonia. And
Exonia.
yeah, that's a really weird name.
That is. I never heard that name before.
But
Like that.
she actually pinpointed something that I never told anybody, and she knew. And I'm like, oh my god, yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you guys, back when we were all younger, back in the days, we all used to party, right?
Mhm.
So,
Sure.
okay, wait a minute. Oh,
Hi.
Hello.
Hi,
You
how
guys
Come
are
on
join us?
in. You want to come join us?
I was gonna, sorry that I'm late, but I had a small accident, so, but you
It's-
were talking.
all right.
I don't
It's
mind.
fine. No worries. No worries. It's not, believe me, it never ends. A woman's work is never done. We're always running around, right? I get it.
So, this
Um,
this story was really weird because where I was driving them was at my sister's old place, and she had a duplex, and this was back in the 80s. So what we
Okay.
used to do as teenagers, we would call up the taxi company. We would say, hey, my dad needs a case of beer and a bottle of Jim Beam. And then when they would come, we would say, oh, he just passed out, and we would pay him. But the alcohol would be for us, and we used to party. So, and now I never told anybody that. So when we
Right.
were driving, and Courtney that's when her friend Exonia came out, and she said, hey, Dad. I'm like, yeah. She goes, you usually drink a lot of alcohol here. And I'm like, what do you mean? She said, yeah, Exonia told me. I said, okay, silly goose. I said, show me where. And she pointed right to my sister's place. So,
whoa.
Oh wow.
so that's how Courtney got that. We were talking about
Wow.
her imagination friend. No, she was talking, but no, you came over, pushed me. They wanted to know about Courtney's imagination
Yeah,
friend.
come on, buddy.
Come on.
Oh, I'm
So-
sorry.
Yeah.
They gave
I
it.
mean,
They gave it a nickname. They actually gave it the nickname called Spooky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, they seem to know about your past, Jay. So maybe it's somebody you might have known that had that came to visit, or because a lot of times locations have activity in the open, and spirits that are wandering will come to that location because they know there's some kind of portal to let things in. So you think it could have been somebody from your past? You think that knew what you're doing?
I don't think it was something from the past. I think what it was, I think the energy with Elka being pregnant with twins, we didn't realize the history of the house. So the history of the house has a kind of a dark past. I'll just give you kind of rundown. When I went to the city hall to
Please,
find
yeah.
out who owned it, and Colleen, who worked there, she also worked at the Hall of Records, and along with the town manager. This is how many people had owned the house from 1770. This is other real estate transactions. So with that happening, we found out there was what, Kenzie, how many twins were here?
4 sets.
4 sets of twins, including these guys.
4 sets.
Oh.
It gets really stranger because when John Zappis came out, John's like, I'm a twin, or somebody's a twin in his family.
His mother is a twin
Right.
of Ed Warren.
Okay.
Ed Warren and John
Right.
Zaffron's mother are twins.
Yep.
Right.
And then when Joe Frankie came up, Joe's 2 daughters are twins. This weird coincidence, though. Yeah.
Oh wow, that is
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. So strange.
Yeah, come over. There's some more
Wow.
space. I
Yeah,
want-
yeah.
And when
Huh?
you
So-
moved in, so going back to the beginning, when you moved in, you didn't have any. When you first came to the house, you were like, "This is great. This will work. We're
No.
good."
No.
Not you. You,
I-
Jay. You were okay. Elka, you not so much.
Oh,
I
Steve.
didn't want the house at all. I saw the house and I went inside and I'm kind of like, I don't like it. I don't feel comfortable. And he thought, oh, it's because it was in such a disarray because we had no window seals and some of the ceilings were not in. I mean, it was in rough shape when we looked at it. And he said, oh, this is all cosmetic stuff. Let's fix it. You'll be fine. And I'm kind of like, no, I don't like this house. And but well, I was outvoted.
No.
Yes.
Listen, I asked you.
So immediately you felt that way, Elka.
Yeah.
You felt that way immediately. Like don't like it, not a good feeling.
Mm-mm. I didn't believe that there is maybe ghosts in the house because at this point, I really have to say I was not really a believer in spirits. Never had any experience with it. We just started watching Taps because 2005, 2006, this was the first thing what came out with paranormal. So
That's right.
yeah, we watched the shows, but I'm kind of like, oh, that's entertaining, but it was not for me. I'm like, is it real? I don't know. So I thought the house just felt right for me, and I'm kind of like, so not knowing that we have kind of like spookies in the house. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's been crazy. So what I can do is tell you like the beginning, then I'll let Mackenzie switch over and she can talk about stuff like that because.
Yeah.
But so.
Yeah, for them it's kind of like a little bit different too. For the girls, and especially kind of like Mackenzie too, because I don't have that gift. I don't see stuff. Courtney,
Nor do I.
they can see stuff. So even when they were little and they were telling me, I'm kind of like, okay, it's okay. I never really, I'm like, and then when we looked into the paranormal and we met different mediums, and all of a sudden they're telling me the same thing what my kids are telling me, and I'm like, oh boy, they really see stuff, kind of. I'm like, yeah, it was kind of
right.
And that's for today's day too. I mean, she sees constantly that girl in a white dress, and she's always hovering over her bed. And
really,
and
yeah, every night's always something going on when I sleep. So there's really never a peaceful sleep.
Wow. No, that's not good.
But Chris, when you've been there, did you see any of this stuff or felt it? Since you're
Oh, I felt it. There is no joke.
Yeah.
I felt it.
Yeah.
When I was in the living room with them, the whole atmosphere just went completely hot. Like I was like, well, how did it get so warm in here? All of a sudden, and it gone.
and cold, right?
Like I was.
Is that
what?
typical? Is that typical? Like usually you hear people say, "Oh, there's cold spots." That's interesting. It got hot.
Yeah, it's I think it's. Is it recent, Jay? You get that?
The atmosphere can change. Like some people can come in, they're like, oh, what a peaceful house. It's quiet and calm. And then other people can come in and they just get hit right off the bat. And it's almost like something, it sounds weird. Like the house is alive and it knows who's coming out and what their intentions are. Like when Chris came up, they welcomed Chris, they played around with Chris. But there's other people that come up, they're like, no, we got to get rid of these people quick. So it's weird.
It's weird. It's weird. They picked me. I don't know why, but I. That's the question. I don't know
You got
why.
a good soul. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm likable and I'm calm.
There you go.
Yeah.
I do understand what you mean, Jay, about the house being an entity of it in itself, right? Like there are other houses that have the same kind of feeling, like the Hinsdale house, for example.
Yeah.
You know, you really think of that as like a, right? I mean, Anthony, do you feel that way?
Well, with the Hinsdale house, yeah.
Yeah, that it's
I've
sort
been
of
there
like
so many
a
times
character
that-
itself in the whole story, you know?
I mean,
It can change your attitude or your feelings too. For example, we put new shades up here in the bedroom upstairs, And we had a wonderful day. We got the shades, we left, and I put groceries away. They started hanging up the thing, and then all of a sudden I'm kind of like, what's going on over there? They started arguing. And I'm kind of like, what's going on? So I went upstairs and said, what's going on here? And all of a sudden, a full-blown fight. Kind of like about nobody knows even why. So
That's so
we caught it and we kind of like, okay, let's put the shades down. I guess right now it's not the right time to do the shades. And we left and everything settled down again and everything was calm and I don't know.
Wow, yeah.
Then
Spirits
I
can
get
do
it. So the
that.
house will
They,
kind of
they
let you
give you
know.
they give you the feelings, their feelings of anger or happiness, and they can take over somebody. Just do that to them, even make them fight. You know,
Yeah.
You just have to try to ground yourself and get out of that situation. But sometimes your head's not in there
mhm.
to get
Yeah.
out. But if you could just try to get out of that situation, because spirits can do a lot of, make you guys fight amongst each other. And I mean, you're living in a house like that, so you guys know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
You could, like you said, you were happy, a good day, and all of a sudden, boom,
Yeah.
how did that start?
Oh, that's
Right.
not all. That's not all. When they when they when they released the book, the Enfield House book.
Mhm.
Oh, the book. Oh, this book.
Yeah.
They did a book on us by
Oh, it
Rebecca,
gets crazy. Watch.
the
You
history of
listen to
haunting.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was crazy. I don't think she will come back to the house.
Really?
Yeah, that's. I'll just tell you really quick. She always
Yeah.
said, she stumbled upon us by accident, and she says, "Do you mind if I stay over?" She goes, "Every place I write a book on, I sleep over." So when she got here, she's like, "No, no." And then when we got a hold of Joe, and Joe came over, and we were upstairs in the attic in Mackenzie's room, and I felt something. I said, "Joe, something's starting to materialize." So I went to get the holy water. Poor Rebecca and her husband, they were like, boom, they bolted down the stairs, like, we're done. Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
When was this book? When did the book come out?
2024, right? Yeah, 2024.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Was it 2020? Yeah, it was 24 because she had it released for 2025. Yeah.
Yeah, January
Okay.
7th,
When
2025.
she
Like
when
24 we were here.
when she started reading it, she started having stuff in her house happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
We have a couple of
Oh.
people that
which is
contacted
weird.
us, and they were saying we have stuff happening in our house when we started reading your book. Yeah.
Oh,
We
wow.
have
Really?
one of our cousins, she bought the book too, and she started reading, and she said, I have all of a sudden noises in the house. So she gave it actually to another cousin and said, because I have haunted stuff, I don't care, I take it. So she took the book. She said, I wanted to have it out of my house. So we have a couple of people. I don't know if it's, I don't know what the background is on that, but it was kind of like weird that individuals kind of like messaged us and said, hey, I started in a specific chapter 4 or so. It started kind of like
Yeah.
making noises and then
That's funny that happens. Now I'm going to buy a bunch of those books and give it to a bunch of people I don't like.
we chapter 4.
I knew it's chapter 4. But
No, he means me.
That's a good thing. Buy this book and give it to somebody you don't like.
it was
Happy birthday, Jenny.
Yeah,
I know.
Here's something for you.
Merry Christmas. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
I
It's my birthday month.
actually have the book. Nothing happened to me.
Nothing new.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Good.
Most
But
people
it seems
have
like
it
they like
fine.
you, so I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or they know you.
yeah.
You know?
Which is weird.
What is the actual title of the book again?
It's the 1771 Enfield House.
That's it. That's just that.
Oh, wait.
And like the
Okay.
history and haunting.
Yeah. Let me see if I get closer to you.
Yeah, hold it
The
up so we can see
history.
who wrote it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, good.
It was,
Rebecca?
Yeah, because
Rebecca
I'll
Pittman.
list it. You know.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
She was excited, and she went into great detail, and I told her she could make a whole series. She goes, I know. She goes, there's so many other people I wanted to like interview. She goes, she goes, if I wanted to get everybody, she goes, the book would be like this thick. She goes, I'm just gonna take some of the stories and put them in the book, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but
Yeah,
she
I'm
had
sure.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So first Adam has a quick question, then I have one for you too.
Okay.
How have you ever brought anyone over that was completely skeptical and left a complete believer?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
A lot? Does that happen a lot?
I mean, we only, with paranormal people, it's different. But when we do
Yeah.
history tours, and sometimes afterwards we're gonna do when they're interested in it, they always say, "Oh, I don't believe in it," but then they're all interested in seeing kind of like the little gadgets, kind of like the paranormal equipment.
Tell me about Rick.
And then when we pull out the stuff, and then all of a sudden we had last year we had an event for the Enfield Food Shelf, and we we raised money for the food shelf, and we raffled out, and we had people over here that never were into a paranormal or anything, and we had the
Right.
equipment in the spirit box. All of a sudden, said the name of the lady who was sitting on the chair, and she almost fell off the chair. And you could be like,
Wow.
"Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!" So she left as a believer. And then we had Rick, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll do it.
Kind of like, right?
We were doing an event, and Joe was here, and he was giving a lecture. And Rick from the Warren Society, he came up with his friend, and all of a sudden, I'm sitting there telling her a story, and then I keep seeing her turning her head, and she gets this panic look. Now there was two other girls there from another town, and they actually raised their hand. They said, "Joe, we're skeptic. We don't believe in it. We like it. It's just a great story. We figured we'd come out." So as the whole night was going on, she's, "I'm sorry." She goes, "Something." She goes, "It's not the dogs next door." She goes, "Something's growling behind me." So Rick looked, and Rick's like, "Well, you know what? It's okay." So when we went upstairs, I'm talking about what happened up there, and Rick's like, "Hey guys, let's get out of the room." I didn't realize what happened because what you guys know, when you've been in a house for a while, you get desensitized. It's like being in a war zone.
I'm still on.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So what happened was, as we were leaving, Rick said, "You didn't feel that?" I feel what? He goes, "The room shifted." At that point, Rick was kind of like a skeptic of the house because he heard all those things. And he said, "What?" He said, "Who's calling me?" And his face went blank. And I'm like, "What happened?" He goes, "The only person ever called me that name was my mother. And they were calling him by his birth name, Richard." And you kept hearing going, "Richard." And he's like, "This house is crazy."
Yeah.
oh wow.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I
Wow.
would.
Now, here's my thing. Here's the thing. It's when I think it's because when you provoke the spirits, they will attack you for probably the rest of your life. You know,
Mhm.
that's the only time with
Right.
the house. But if you're there and you're being nice, they will not attack you. I had nothing happen to me.
Yeah. Well, when you investigate, you should never
No.
provoke.
No,
You
ever.
go in, and like we said, the spirits, they were human. I mean, at one time, if I go into another human or person and start acting like an ass,
Mhm.
they're gonna treat me like one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if I go in and say, "Hey, how you doing? And you're friendly," they're gonna treat you the same. I always
Right.
found out you get more evidence out of being polite
Yep.
and positive. You go into location positive, and you'll get more out of the location.
That is
And
true.
EX Jenny, that's how I go in everything. And
Yeah.
I'll go in and sit still in a room and let the house talk to me.
Yep.
Okay? Let it talk to you. You don't have to do anything. What's there will come to you. Okay? And like I tell everybody in the audience, I don't consider myself as a paranormal investigator anymore. I consider myself a supernatural spectator because we are going into their world. They're not coming into ours.
Yep.
And once you walk into their world, if they want to share something, they will.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
That's what I always say. That
You know?
I tell everybody that, you know what, this isn't my house; it's their house. I'm just a
Mhm.
renter.
Yeah.
Good point.
Well, I mean, you can always give the limitations. I mean, you've been there long enough, so I mean, you probably heard this a billion times. So, give limitations. We got to share this location. We got our spot, you got your spot. We can live together. And of course, they're not living, but still, they have their space. You have your space,
Mhm.
and keep it, normal. Normal amongst each other. Instead of them destroying your stuff or trying to scare off your guests and everything.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I lived in a house that was, and I still own it. My brother and my son lived there.
Oh
And
wow!
we had the house since 1967. Okay.
Yep.
And there was so much activity going on. And not only that, we're down the block from a cemetery. Matter of fact, Jenny heard it a billion times, everybody in the audience. I grew up in a neighborhood that has 9 cemeteries around it. They
Oh,
called it a cemetery belt. So we had a lot of activity going on there. There's more people buried in that area than living people, you know. So,
Right.
it because of that, we had a lot of activity. So, as I was growing up and getting used to all this stuff, because when I started in the '60s and everything, getting into all the, not getting into it, but experiencing things since I was a young child to now. I still experience things, but I understand it later on. But you didn't know back then who you could talk to and stuff like that.
Yep.
You know? And you just have to learn to deal with certain things, and not showing them they're afraid or everything else like that. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you still get the jump factor always.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you still get that junk factor, like whoa, yeah, but you don't have to show them the fear if you go into a location. But like I always said too, your best tool in your tool bag with the paranormal is your intuition. If you don't feel comfortable, you back yourself out.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, that's how you keep
Yeah.
yourself. Because I've been doing this since I was 13 years old. I've been doing it over 50 years. So I've been scratched, punched, bitten, and everything else. And not every time they do that is they're trying to hurt you. They're doing that trying to let you know there's something there.
Mhm.
To let you know, oh, I'm here, and that's the only way they could contact you or make you show. Okay, you're scratching, like, oh wow, but it's not always a bad thing
That thing,
that
yeah.
they're trying to do to you. They're trying to say, hey, I'm here,
Right.
and that's the only way they can contact you.
Right.
So always go in with
Get your attention.
attitude. You just don't need to be negative to get evidence. You do not need it.
No.
Yeah, that's a great point, Chris, that you say. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
really, you just don't need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
also
It's so much
the other
better.
thing, people actually been put in the hospital because of the house.
Oh yeah,
That's how
been
bad it is.
people been put in the hospital.
Yeah.
That's the other
What
side of
happened?
the house.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's dark. It
Yeah,
gets
I
dark.
guess, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's, I mean, do you feel comfortable talking about that, or is it not something you like to talk about?
Or
We can
something you don't
talk
want to
about.
bring up. You don't want activity tonight.
We don't want, yeah, to have a problem.
No, it's fine. It just, like I said, it's the house is alive, and like I said, it knows. Like, see, if you come out for like a barbecue or you come out to investigate, and you just want to ask questions and be there, but if you're coming in with an alternative motive,
Mhm.
look at, because it's
Okay.
going to do something that you're not going to want, and
Yes,
it's either going
no.
to
Right.
mess up your mind, it's gonna play with you, or it can actually, in the past, going back in the past, I actually had a friend of mine who was a lawyer who was helping us to try to get out. And just as he closed, I didn't realize this, he had a heart attack and died. And we were
Oh,
like,
no.
okay, we just,
That's what the heart attacks is kind of like. I mean, a lot of people probably saying you're crazy, or I don't know how you can put this together, but it is just too a coincidence that we have too many people with heart attacks, and um, either they've said kind of like, oh, they made fun over it. We lost someone who made really bad fun over the house. Again, people can say, oh, this was just maybe a coincidence. Um, we have another person who had nothing wrong with her, and she had a heart attack. And she's a medium, or she was a medium, and she got the warning because she was also traveling. So she was a good friend of mine. So she helped me a lot out, kind of like even explaining to the kids what you feel and what you can do with it, and set your boundaries, and she got a warning to stop, but she kind of like continued what she was doing, and she had another heart attack, and I mean, and then in March she got a pneumonia and she passed away. So
Oh my gosh,
again,
I'm
it
so
is
sorry.
kind of like okay, people can say, oh, this is all humba dumba, it's just kind of
Just
like
Right.
too many
coincidences.
coincidences where you say,
Right.
how would that happen? How is this
Yeah.
happening? Why can people getting heart attacks? And I mean, even Jay Dodd, who helped us in 2014, and they got rid of whatever it was, and he made kind of like a deal, and all of a sudden, I mean, he is kind of like has constantly issues with his heart, and he never had issues before.
Oh,
And
wow.
when you hear this, it's just kind of like too many people who have that issue, where I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Well, I don't want to scare people away. If people come up and they investigate, they're safe. But what it is in the past. It's more like when you poke a bear, which anything would know, everybody. If you poke a bear long enough, the bear's going to poke back.
Of course.
The people that, like for example, when J. Dodd took the case on, it's like he had an intent. He was going to come in. He's going to get rid of it. He's going to do whatever he has to do. Well, it knew. So as soon as he said it was like it was his worst nightmare. Everything that you could imagine happened to him. He went out to dinner with his wife. He came back. His hot water tank exploded. They picked a day to travel. Clear snowstorm came. They almost turned around. When they came up here, he kept leaving because, like a lot of psychics, will be grabbing their heads and they don't know why, and they get migraines because of the trauma. Like when you see this list of paper, there's so many accidents, suicides, murders. They're picking up on all that death energy.
Wow.
That's what I call it. And so what happened was J. Dodd kept after he came here, and they got rid of it. And J. Dodd was working with my daughter Courtney at the time. She was like maybe 7, 8 years old. So she called him and said, "Mr. Dodd, can I talk to you again?" And he said, "Put your dad on the phone." And I'm like, "What's going on?" He goes, "I can't help you anymore." I'm like, "Oh no." I said, "Was it something that Courtney said?" He said, "No." He goes, "I love you guys like family." He goes, "You guys always welcome my house." He goes, here's what happened. Well, J. Dodd, when he was younger, like we all were, he was a highway patrolman up in Indiana. He was a state trooper. And he ended up, something happened to him where he had a near-death experience, and he ended up getting a gift. Well, what happened was, as he was coming in the house, he kept trying to astral project in. So all of a sudden, this entity sat on his bed or came to him and said, "You need to get out." And he said, "No, I'm a man of God. You need to leave." And the entity said, "Do you know who I am?" And he goes, "I don't need to know who you are." He goes, "You need to leave." He goes, "I'll show you." A couple of days later, J. Dodd had a heart attack, almost died 3 times. And when he woke up in the hospital, he opened his eyes and the entity was sitting there, and he goes, "Now do you know who I am?" So yeah. So he basically, I don't know what he did, but basically there was supposed to happen some kind of deal where if he stayed away, that this entity was supposed to leave us alone. And Elka's friend Iris, for example,
She was the only one who was saying, you still have something in your house who it's not nice. Okay, so you have a lot of spirits, good spirits, and they still have the power, kind of like they're not suppressed that much. But that entity is there, and she said she knows that that thing knows that I know that it's still here. And I really think that's why he attacked her. Kind of like because she
Right.
didn't, I mean, her group was out of 5 people, and all her mediums said, Iris, we have to step back. You heard it. We have to step back. And Iris said, no, that's my best friend. And I'm going to do whatever I do to help them and make this as nice for their good spirits, because she believed more like the good spirits need the time to express themselves. She said, I help the spirits that they can live free in your house, and that other people can experience these spirits and not that other thing, whatever it is. And yeah, and I really think, and I talked to her multiple times. I said, hey, do you think you had your heart attack because of my house? And she's always kind of, nah. But then one time she slipped. She said, I have to step a little bit back. I got another
Yeah.
warning. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I would think so. And then we talk about the weather.
Now that we scared
Right.
everybody out there, like, don't go to the
No, not at all. No, I mean, it sounds like
No.
he definitely had a warning. You know, he definitely had. Do you know who I am? You better get out of here. And he said no. You know,
Yeah,
kind of
so-
thing. I mean,
whatever it was. Do I think it was a demon? No, because if you look at a biblical sense, one angel could wipe out the earth. So you figure if there's a real fallen
Sure.
angel, he's not gonna just pick you up and shake you up and down and spin your arm going, hey, pokey pokey. You know, that's not, I think it was some kind of entity or something that was different. And it
Yeah.
just it didn't
I was always said it is really old. It's ancient. And I think that's why it has that power. But she never
Right.
mentioned anything about a demon or anything in it. She just said it's just negative. It's just poor negativity. And it feeds also on your spirits in the house.
Oh yes. Yeah.
All,
Do you know
all, I,
the
no, that's a
location?
perfect word.
all I have to say,
Ancient
all,
is a good word.
Oh.
Go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say, all I have to say, thank God I stepped in. That's all I have to say.
what's that,
And
Chris?
help. I said, thank God
Yeah.
I stepped in and helped you guys because
Yeah.
Chris
I
did a
knew
lot
some-
of research.
Chris is
He was
feeling good.
awesome.
Chris is
Awesome.
awesome on the research. Yeah. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
really a big help.
Yeah. So
As
in terms
do you
of
know the
research, Chris
location?
is really
Can-
a research.
your land. Do you know what the land was before the building
Right. That's
and that area? Was it a
That's where I was
forest?
going.
Was it
Yep.
something else, or a small town or before that? Or
Well, I'll answer this quick, then I'll let these guys talk about it. It is really strange because if you could take the house out in front of us, you'd be right at the Connecticut River, which is a major waterway. It goes all the way to Canada and dumps out at the Long Island Sound. So
Mhm.
during the old days, you had Native Americans, you had French, you had the colonists. Everybody used it for waterways.
yes,
Supposedly this was woods and fields, and there was so much death around here with people. But the weird part is the guy who originally built the house. The reason why we couldn't find out the guy who originally built the house because it stayed in the family until they sold it in 1846. But the gentleman, his name was Matthew Thompson. He, the original Matthew Thompson was from England, and then they didn't. I don't know what they used the house for, but that they built the house away from the historical area, so they put it in the middle of nowhere. Now, here's what's weird: the town built up around the house. Now, this is creepy because
interesting.
you got the house, and then as that happened, the guy who built it, his son, whose name is Orrin Thompson, ended up making these carpet mills. They looked like at the time was just like a little military complex. It was like 27 huge buildings, and he went.
Yeah, he had almost 4,000 employees, so it was huge.
It was
Wow.
huge. He went and he became the richest man in Connecticut, parts of New York City. But here's the weird thing: is when they sold the house in 1846, because nobody in the family wanted a house, I guess. So they sold it outside the house. As soon as they did that, that winter, Orrin Thompson's daughter, Juliana, dies just before Christmas on December 8th. She was only
Oh.
21 years old. And so that started off a chain of hot potato. Whoever had the house, it was bought, sold, bought, sold, bought, sold. And it was like some people had it a year, some people didn't. And so
So a lot of mediums told us too that a lot of Indians and maybe also burial ground. I mean, Kenzie did in school.
Kenzie did a lot of research.
That they eradicated a whole tribe in this area where we are.
Really?
I don't even know, kind of like, was there maybe someone who even did a curse on something from the past? So it's just really eerie that when you look at the old maps, it's just this house and nothing. And we had someone here who does reenactment stuff. And when he looked around, he said, I don't understand, because at this time period, houses were built in the colony so they would stick together. So if they had been attacked from Indians or whatever, they were all together. And
Yeah.
Right.
this is 2 miles down the road where actually the historic section is. This house was totally alone on the waterfront. He said you had water pirates coming down, up and down the Connecticut River. So what he told us.
Wow.
That, like, so I don't know, maybe he was not a nice guy either. Maybe he was a smuggler, and kind of like that's why he was so close to the waterfront.
So
Right.
So, Kenzie, do you want to share that story about the Native Americans? You did a report on it.
So I mean, with the Native Americans, I mean,
this is,
Yeah, we.
I was about to
No,
give
it's
these
okay.
to you. No, I was going to give these so you can explain what these are.
No, you can. No, you
Okay.
can. You go.
Is that for vampires?
Well, it could be. What I wanted to say before we switch over to Kenzie, I wanted to Kenzie to do this, but what these are the original nails of the house. Back in the day, they used wooden pegs.
Yes.
Right.
You can even see where they were driven in, where they
Mhm.
hauled them out, they put the things. So I didn't take these out of the house because the house is still standing, but as I was doing construction, I would find these, and some of them where I had to move a board, I actually pulled 1 or 2 out. But these were the original pegs that they had from 1770, and they built the house in 1771. So
Wow,
when
that's
people
interesting.
come up, you pass these around, and they can hold some history to them. So
That is cool.
Yeah.
they're pretty cool.
Love
Okay.
it.
All right.
So yeah, with the massacre, the French actually teamed up with another Indian tribe because this Indian tribe was really massive at the time, and they felt as a threat. So the French paid actually the Indian tribe some gold to actually help them take out the other tribes. So when they went down to actually massacre them, it was so bad. I mean, women and children were murdered, raped, everything. It was horrific. And they realized the other Indian tribe really how the Frenchmen were or the other Indian tribe. Some of them started backing off and thought this was wrong. And they were actually killed at the moment at that time too. So it was a really massacre. So, I mean, you can imagine with the bloodshed onto the land. I mean, you never know. Even we have witches around here too. So with all the trials and the hangings, everything. I mean, this land keeps getting pumped up, blood onto blood onto blood.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's soaked red.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, we have everything kind of like, because when before the Salem witch trials, we had a lot of witches.
Oh, they want us to get closer.
oh,
Yeah. We just can't see you as well. I just want to see you.
No, let me slide back, guys.
Look at you guys.
I
That's
usually
much
start
better.
over there, but it's like that musical chair. Like
It's our producer that's asking because he just wants to be able to see you all.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. The
Yeah.
house, the history, it actually keeps going. It keeps going on and on and on, like nonstop history about the house.
So
Mhm.
I
I
love
keep
that
do-
Elvis said ancient. Like, so
Yeah.
you're going back before that even,
yeah,
And it comes constantly in the spirit
right?
box.
Like, I mean, you're thinking way before that.
Yeah, where it says, I'm ancient, or get out,
That's
I'm
interesting.
ancient. We have that a lot.
Yeah, those
You,
tend to
you
be.
want to know another place I've been to that ancient came up, and we were there with John Zaffis, the Conjuring House.
oh yes, yeah.
Right.
We were there, and we
Similar.
were asking questions, and John was asking questions about the ancients, and we were getting EVPs of growling and mad, and
Ooh,
yeah, it was. And that's the other
Outside?
place
Was
I
this
dealt
outside?
with ancients was the Conjuring House in Rhode Island.
yeah, yeah. That's
Right.
like 2.5 hours away, not even.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
Didn't
were
we
getting the same
do
thing from there.
Estes, right, with the Conjuring House? Where they actually
That was
answered,
creepy, but
were
don't mention
they,
the names.
no, they were answering kind of like the questions or what uh,
No, that one's closed.
how can I say that? They wrote it on paper here, what he liked on best on the food, and the Conjuring House answered peanut butter.
See,
Oh
They
wow.
did a
maybe
trip.
there's some sort of connection somewhere. Because I
Yeah.
was Indian land also that had some
It
stuff
was.
going on.
Okay, so here, Ken, go ahead, go this way. Hang on. No, no, you're fine,
Do
Ken.
you-
So so
Chris.
when I was there at the
Right.
at the house, all right. They actually had they actually have a gangster that actually is in the house. His name is Charles.
Oh, yeah.
So and
Okay.
and
How did you figure that out?
the because I did a lot of research and I asked them
Oh.
questions about him uh, and when I was there, I was using my spirit talker. I can't you not. I was sitting there, was talking to him.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Is he really here? And he said, yes. My name is Charles. I'm the spirit talker.
Oh wow!
You want to hear a funny story about Charles? Charles was a
Yeah.
gangster before it became the mafia. This is back in the old days. Everybody came from Sicily, and
It was called it was called the Red Hand back then.
yeah, the Black Hand Society or the Red Hand.
Black Hand, the Red Hand, and they used to put the Black Hand or Red Hand on. Red Hand meant you're going to kill somebody, or Black Hand warning.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that I know anything, and
Anthony's
my family's
Sicilian.
from there.
Hey, that
He's
time,
Sicilian.
I saw the cannolis. Hey, I was like, he's gonna bring
Yeah.
cannolis.
Oh.
Yeah. Where's the
Oh, he does
cannolis,
love
Jenny?
cannoli.
Jenny,
Yeah, we gotta get
she
the
supplies
cannolis.
me cannolis.
We got a good place down the street called Rusco's. They make all kinds of cannolis.
Oh.
In the middle,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Jenny likes the ones with pistachios.
They even got coconut. I love coconut. Oh my god. No, I'm
I
getting
like
hungry.
a regular
Oh, I've
cannoli,
never had
some
that.
They
espresso
make, I don't
cannoli.
know what, they have, I think, 20 or 30 different types. They have Snickers, Twix,
Jenny,
Oh, don't get me going.
coconut.
Oh,
I
I'm
mean, they
getting
have
hungry.
every type what you want of
Oh.
cannoli. It's just
We used to go there
Oh my
when the
gosh.
kids
We
were
always
little.
end up talking about food.
well, we do have a thing that when we talk about cannolis, everybody's supposed to take a sip of whatever they drinks are in front of them.
It's a fake drinking game because we don't drink
Yeah,
during
me
the show,
neither.
but
I
it's a
don't
fake
drink
drinking game.
soda and coffee.
When
In
you
about
say-
5 minutes, I'll be running to the bathroom.
Yep. Whenever anyone says cannoli, we take a sip.
Yeah.
It's just a little game we play on the show.
They destroy us, oh, boys.
Even though it's coffee or whatever.
And the other thing,
So where
When
were
I-
we? Oh, we always end up talking about food
Yeah.
and the
Sorry.
paranormal.
So-
Eat food.
Charles.
so when I was upstairs in the room with Elkie and Mackenzie, I was upstairs in the room with them, and all of a sudden the cat ball started moving. Like
Started
Oh,
moving,
moving.
yeah, moving on the floor.
not just sliding, but moving.
No, yeah, moving.
Oh
I
wow!
was
Wow.
I was like, how's that moving? Like
I didn't-
I was surprised. And all of a sudden it got really quiet and I was just sitting there like I said, I really don't want to move this area. I felt
Right.
it felt like home. I felt like I felt like I was being loved and hugging.
Wow.
And I'm like, I really don't want to leave this place. It felt normal. Like I want to be here more. It was weird.
That's good.
That's
That's awesome.
what was nice
You
about
got that
Chris.
feeling.
When he went
Yeah, that's a
upstairs,
good feeling.
we have
Yeah.
so many women in the house from the old days. I think they embraced Chris, and when I saw on the chair where Elizabeth sits. Chris
Mhm.
sat there, and he got this overwhelming sense of peace. And he's the first one ever got peace in the house, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, there's nothing here." Then other people are like, "You know what? We're getting out of the house. We can't be here."
Mhm.
You know. So it's a mixed bag, right, Yoko?
Mhm.
We have a little boy, David. He comes a lot through the street, and he plays jokes and he laughs a lot, and he moves the toys around, and he also throws the ball down the stairs. So yeah,
Mhm.
but it's kind of
Okay.
like it's a nice thing. You know what I mean? Kind of like you can um intelligence. You can ask him something and kind of like you're going to get a direct response to it. And that's kind of like sometimes fascinating. And sometimes we only sit down and Courtney said, "Oh, let's see what's going on. Let's talk." And then sometimes it's quiet and then you only have to see, hey, who likes beer or who likes booze? Or
Oh, don't do
pizza,
that,
or
Eric.
pizza.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden everything goes haywire because I guess we really have
Right.
I don't know. We have some people, I guess, from the past who liked that stuff.
Well, who doesn't like a good something once in a while? You
Now,
know.
Yeah.
now, then after that, we went outside in the backyard. Oh boy, that was a nice conversation we were having with the spirits. Oh boy.
That's I was going to ask about the outside. So I'm glad you brought that up.
It was a
Normally,
nice conversation.
So,
when we normally give
so
tours,
what was
we
it
just
about?
do the side yard. But with Chris, we gave him the extended tour. We took him out in the back where
Right.
there was an old like barn or shed, and one of the guys actually went out there and hung himself, and they tore down the garage because, like I said, there's so many crazy stories, guys, to the house. It's unreal, and I always try to get evidence, like for example, that gangster. The way I know a lot about him and his family is Colleen from the city hall said, "You're not going to believe who's alive." And I'm like, "Who?" And she said, "Charles Comparedo Jr., his son, was in his late 80s and wanted to talk to me."
Oh wow.
And
Whoa.
yeah, and it was like the mafia movies. The first
Mhm.
time Bob Baker said, "I'll talk to the guy," and then 3 weeks later, he goes, "Don't ever talk to him." He goes, "He's the real deal." He said, "Mr. Baker," he said, tell the Abels never to dig in their basement." And as Bob was asking more questions, Bob said, "I think he threatened me." I'm like, "Why?" He said, "Mr. Baker," he goes, "I wouldn't be digging too deep in the house." He goes, "You know what?" He goes, "You wouldn't want to be a ghost in there one day flying around, would you?"
Oh wow.
So yeah, so a
Wow.
year or two went by,
Wow.
and Colleen said, "Guess who came into the city hall to get married?" I said, "I have no idea." She goes, "Charles Comparedo Jr." I'm like, "Oh, that's nice, right?" I said, "He's in his 90s." She said, "Guess what was on his mind?" I said, "His beautiful 90-year-old wife." She goes, "No, you." I'm like, "Me?" I said, "He's not marrying me." I'm like, "Hey." So
Yeah,
At
really.
least I don't know he is, unless he has money.
yeah, so I'm like, "Why is he asking about me?" He said to tell you not to send anybody else to him, that he wants to talk to you directly. So I had a 2.5 hour conversation with him, and he was
Wow.
yeah, awesome guy. He filled us in on things that were unreal, and then we pieced the things together, and it was amazing. I wish I recorded it. Yeah,
What an opportunity. I mean, you don't, that's incredible.
yeah, that was something.
I just get this mental picture of him meeting you in the back of a restaurant or something. Like,
Yeah,
there's,
well, that's the other weird thing. I'm jumping around, guys. Sorry. When we
no,
moved
we
in,
like it.
huh? Yeah,
It's
so
Oh,
fine.
it's good. It's
Fine.
good.
we
Yeah.
went down. Yeah, so Colleen told us go down to the historical society and
Yes.
see what they got. So I went down there, and the guy said, "What's the address?" I said, 3730 on Prospect Street. "No, good day." Bam. He hangs up the phone. So when Animal Planet came up, they said, "We're national TV." So they called up and I said, "Yeah, what property?" 37. Nope. Bam. Sci-fi. Bam. Discovery. So in 2000, I get this email, right? This anonymous email. I said, "Jay, the reason why you couldn't find anything, it was the obituary of Charles Comparedo Jr. They said he started out as a volunteer at the Historical Society and was on the board of directors. And I'm like,
I
oh
don't
my
know.
God. So he was in there and he was putting a stop to everything. So there must have been something that he did not want people to dig in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and go ahead, Kenzie. I'll talk. I'll let you pull up his picture and show you as you're talking.
Yes, please.
Go ahead, Ken, talk. I feel bad because you're so quiet and I'm trying to retire from this side of the business and she's taking over. And I'm like, talk. She's like, you talk, Dad. I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah.
So,
Good for you.
Say 4 cookies was a bit overkill.
I mean, if anyone has any questions.
Yeah. Does
It's usually
anyone have
better.
any questions?
Yeah.
Any
So
questions in the audience?
yeah, so I actually have a question. Can you take me through the house? Like, can you give us a picture of what it's like? You know, how many
I want to show
floors,
you.
like,
I got a picture of the building. I'm going to put it on the. I'm going to be
Perfect.
putting it up.
Mm-hmm.
there you go.
That's the
Okay.
building itself.
yeah.
Okay. So so I'm looking around the outside of it. So
So
you
for the
you were,
air conditioning, that's the side where we're living on.
Or the
okay.
is where
Well-
we give the tours where the tree is.
Okay.
No,
So
the
it's back
the window up in top where you see Lowe's there, that's
Yes.
when they split the house in two in the 1860s. They literally split the house right in half, and there's a reason why they did it. But go ahead, Opa.
They split the house in half.
They
Yes.
split it right in half. Yeah.
Oh, so it was like apartments on one side and.
It was actually one big farmhouse, yeah. We
Oh,
saw
really?
kind of like pictures, kind of like from comparing to other houses who were built in this time, and they had this big grandiose staircase, and
There used to be another chimney actually on the other side of the house. So it used to be
yeah,
what I think of it is like if you take one side of the house, it's like a copy and paste of the other side of the house. So they use
Okay.
dimensions, everything on each side of the building and everything. So the attic's the same,
Mhm.
same thing, like 2 bedrooms, the small bedrooms and everything. So it's
and the cellar we
the
have
cellar
the
too.
beehive
The 2
oven.
beehive ovens.
So I think they were cooking in the cellar, kind of like at this time, and there was also a well in the cellar.
Just cover it up.
What I heard, and like The Conjuring has that too in the cellar, kind of like they have a well.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. Do you think this was like I don't know, did the history on it, but this sounds like let me get this thing off the thing here. It sounds like it wasn't like because you right off the port of water. A lot of those
Right.
places I know in New York, if they were near the water, they would have like a place for the weekend, or people just come and rent out like a
Right.
I can't think
Like
of the
a
name right
tavern.
now.
Tavern, yeah.
Like it's where you would
Yeah.
go up and get a room, like an inn.
Like an inn or something like that.
Right.
Would that have been that, or that was like rented out location? Because
No.
I know people because right now you're right in a good location. You got the sound of the Long Island Sound. You got Connecticut. That was always a middle place. So maybe somewhere they could have came and visit or something. You know.
That's interesting that you mentioned that. Because way back in the days when Joe and Orlando were here, they had brought in a medium, and we have a tape recorder. If we never get it working, the guy they channeled, he was a trader, not like Benedict Arnold, but a trader of goods.
Yes.
And I was like, bravo, because I'm a skeptic. Back, I have to really see it to believe it back then. So his voice would switch from Ireland to Scottish to everything. And he said, I want these people out. They're here for my money. So find out he was a trader of goods. And I said, great story. Well, as we were researching Matthew Thompson, who built the house, guess what he did for work, for a living? He was a trader of goods. He had a house in Southfield, Connecticut, and we don't know what the house was here. We don't know if it was like what you say, Anthony. When you said an inn, or maybe he was storing gunpowder, or
The historian guy said too they could have used it maybe also as a field hospital.
Yeah.
Because kind
Yeah.
of like, yeah.
During a time with
Yeah.
the Revolutionary War and everything. I mean, yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
So,
Like a border or something like that. Because I know back.
Yes, Mackenzie.
years because I
believe
did
that.
genealogy on my family. I go back to the 1700s and stuff. But I know one of my grandfather, my father's side, like in the early 20s, had like like it was like a rooming house type of thing they called it, and people used to just go there and live there. You know, and you're not there all the time, and you pay by the week and stuff like that. You know,
Right.
so you're right by your that's prime location. If the
Yep.
house was in half and they made it to one house, maybe that was what it was. And it might have been because you have an awning that comes out on it. Was that added on? Because a lot of times it was two doors on these locations.
It was what the reason why I think they split it got split in the 1860s. And
Mhm.
that's a unique story because the guy who lived here this was like a wealthy area, but now it's not. But the guy who lived here was from Scotland, and he was married. His son went off to fight in the Civil War, and he came back home disabled. Well, his daughter came from Scotland, and her husband was an abusive alcoholic. So I think he told her to get home. Well, as the psychics say, they believe that him and somebody else had murdered her husband, and they tried to poison him. Then they suffocated him with a pillow. Then they dragged him up in the attic. And the story that they said was when his boss and friends came looking for him on Monday, they said, well, he came home drunk. So they figured he went up to the attic and passed out and died. So they got away with it. So as that happened, I think William Lydell said, you know what, Marion, we're dealing with your disabled brother and you and the three kids. You know what? He hired a contractor and split the house right in half. And he
Wow.
said, Marion, you go on one side, me and mom will stay here with your brother. And I think that's what they did.
Okay, so they split the house. Because
Yeah.
you said there might have been two fireplaces on there also.
There, yeah, in the basement. That's why it's interesting. You said because I think when it was built single family, I think I get the impression that they were doing something because on each side of the house there were like fireplaces in there. And what's interesting is unfortunately they poured concrete over in the 1950s on the floor. But when you look at the side, you have these beautiful beehive ovens, and you can so they were baking in there on each side. So it might fit in, Anthony, what you're saying. Maybe they had it in, or they were having people come in and they were baking all day long in the kitchens in the basement.
Yeah.
Yes.
To me, that make more sense because, like I said, you're a perfect location from New York and Canada,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
you're right there.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And I know back then there was a lot of all the trade was with ships up and down the Atlantic, the coastline, and going up and down. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
and
Right.
so
Something I thought I
Right.
had a picture how it
So-
was, but I can't find it.
So yeah, I mean,
we're losing you, Chris.
Chris,
We're losing. I know it's getting dark. So, Chris,
Yeah,
so,
I'm still here.
so you have
It's
a
all right.
basement. So you investigate, and you do have a basement that you can investigate. An
I didn't
attic,
do
you were
the-
saying?
I didn't do the attic or the basement. I just stayed in a living room and upstairs. That's it.
Okay,
Because
But it
that's
has
where
a-
I felt.
but it has a basement.
okay,
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't have a reason to go down there in the basement.
Yeah,
So
no, of course. I was just trying to get the lay of the land. Like,
Yeah.
so it has a basement, it has an attic, has 2 bedrooms, you were saying, on one side?
Yeah. yes,
Okay.
there's
Okay.
2 bedrooms.
Trying to get a
There's one
picture.
over. There's one over here and one over there. So
Okay.
it's interesting because how they did it when they split the walls.
Mhm.
It's like copycat, but the opposite, almost like a mirror image. So if you're standing in front,
Ah,
you would look up. The big bedroom would be here, and then our side, the big bedroom would be on the other side. Then as you go to the back, the small bedroom would be on this side. The other small bedroom's here. And then when you come in the middle, you got one bathroom here, the wall that separates it, and the other bathroom. And then you
That
got the
makes sense.
staircase.
they're back to back. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
I was in construction also.
Oh,
Jenny,
okay.
Jenny Drink.
oh,
I'm a retired electrician from the city, so I've been in construction. That's why I'm I'm interested on like how they separated the house and everything.
Yeah.
And those dowels that you showed us, that's great. The wooden dowels.
Yeah,
For the,
Love
the
that.
big hammers and the strong
Yeah.
guys. I could.
Yeah.
I love that.
Those houses still up, and there's a
Oh,
lot of
there-
houses I know are down with screws and everything else. So
Yeah.
So this
I
is the
was gonna
guy.
say, I was gonna say,
You guys
when I,
see that? Oh, that's the
what,
guy right there, Charles Comparedo Jr.
Oh,
That
that's
blocked
the
everything.
okay.
And
The
he was,
Sicilian man, right?
to me, he was the sweetest guy ever. But I could imagine some other people
Right.
he wasn't so nice. Yeah, but
But that's often the
Chris,
case, you know?
Chris, what were you trying to say?
Yep.
oh yeah,
Chris,
when I when Jay was telling the story with my dad about the house and stuff, so I went upstairs by myself for a few minutes. And I stayed in the hallway for a few minutes, and the feel of it, and and then, like I said, the room, I felt the atmosphere. It felt so heavy, like you couldn't even breathe. And then,
Really?
and after that, I stayed in there for another hour, and all of a sudden, I heard right next to me. I'm like, where did that come from?
Hmm.
I'm like, what?
So just
I'm
like
like,
that,
okay,
just
that's weird.
did it just like
Yeah,
come upon you? Like, or was it always like that?
yeah.
Wow.
I just felt, I
Wow.
oh jeez, wait, the dog is sleeping.
Did I lose? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut
I don't know if
you
we
off,
lost
Chris.
him.
It
Jay
was
that.
delayed a little bit.
Oh,
Was that Chris?
I was actually telling Jay that I heard a thump upstairs right next to me. I'm like,
Oh, the banging.
yeah, there is something here. Yeah, I said, yeah, there's something here.
So talk
It's
to us if
weird.
you would about what type of activity you experience the most. Do you experience voices like Mackenzie? Do you hear people talking in your house?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it does happen when you're alone. Sometimes you're just sitting there and then you start hearing some, but usually sometimes, like, if we have, like, I would say a gather or a group, and usually when you start talking, you're not even paying attention to the paranormal. That's where it kind of really ramps up because they kind of get mad, you're not paying attention to me, you're ignoring me. So then you'll start hearing like banging and then you'll hear some footsteps, or sometimes you'll see
A lot of
move.
footsteps.
Yeah, footsteps is a lot, especially like above you. You hear them all the time.
Ah,
Walking back and
across the
forth, and
floor.
or sometimes down the stairs. Actually, too, will go either halfway up and then it stops, or then it'll go halfway down and it stops. It's always halfway.
Last
you
night
never
when
hear
we
it.
were watching TV too, who said who's next door because you hear
Yeah, someone was going up the stairs last night actually because we stopped it for a second. I heard like a lot of bang, and I was wondering like what was that? It was actually from next door. Someone actually came down the stairs, and it was just weird because I'm like everyone's downstairs, and it's like okay.
So we
so you're really don't like disembodied voices more than EVPs?
Depending, I mean, it's on and off. I mean, I would like to say, I mean, EVPs.
Sometimes you cannot make it out. You
Yeah.
just hear people talking or people arguing.
gotcha.
And then the only thing is what we had once was before Thanksgiving. We were watching TV. I mean, I was already sleeping, but he had the Ring camera charged over here. And now we don't do that anymore because I'm kind of like, I don't want to listen to this anymore.
Right.
But the motion sensor went off over here. So Jay looked, and of course there was nothing here. And then again and again. So this time he turned also the volume on, and he's kind of like waking me up, and I'm kind of like, "What did you want?" And I'm kind of like, "What is it?" And the only thing is what you could hear. Shh, they're listening to us, and I got quiet.
Oh wow!
Since then, I'm kind of like, I don't want to have these things charged anymore.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
You can have your party over here. Not good.
Yeah.
As long as you don't go over there.
you just never know what's going to happen. Sometimes it'll be peaceful and quiet, and there are other times it's a chatterbox. You never know. It's what you guys experience at other places.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You can have a whole night totally quiet, and you can have a whole night nonstop.
And sometimes you think a night that's quiet, then you go home and do reviews on your recordings and your video cameras, and then you're like, oh wow,
Yeah, you just
it could be
missed it.
active.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's depending,
That
Yeah.
happened. I was doing a interview for this magazine, and so I was talking to this lady. She's from the Midwest, and we're talking and telling the whole stories. A month goes by. She goes, Jay, oh my God. She goes, I was listening to your interview, and we started talking about this Marion Arnott. She goes, it sounded like colonial flute music playing. And she said,
I know exactly what you mean.
and then you can hear it. And some people think it's like a colonial fife and drum starting up, or it could be like a music box, and we have nothing here. And she goes, I can't believe it. She goes, I'm listening to what you're saying, right? And then she goes, I hear, and she goes, what? And then she went back. She goes, listen.
That's amazing.
She was
That's
excited.
really
That's
cool.
amazing. You know why? Because the guy who built your house, wasn't he Scottish?
Yeah.
He was from England, yeah.
And England, and that's a lot of their stuff with flutes, and not just the colonial time, but before when they built it back in the 1700s. A lot of that stuff came from Ireland and Scotland, like the bagpipes and everything, and they used it here. And a lot of during the Civil War, a lot of troops were Irish. They just
you're
as soon as they
right.
came off the boat and they came and they were here. So the music could date back to from the beginnings of the house or colonial times.
Yeah, who knows?
It doesn't, and then plus you had so many people there, and you probably have a lot of Scottish, Irish names on there because that was pretty much back when they came, too.
Yeah. I love that story. That's great. That's such a nice surprise. Better than a growl. The music.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the story that I wanted to tell you before about, because you like gangsters, right? So what happened? We had a group here in our early days, right? And always talking with the hands, right?
What are you talking about? There's no gangsters. There's nothing like that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not Italian, so yeah.
No. So we were sitting around. We had a psychic medium, and there was a team here, and there was a young guy in his like early 20s, and I show a picture of the family that Colleen had nerves of steel. She went on. I'm not going to mention these people because they're actually active in Springfield area. But this photo here was the guy Charles was having an affair with Angelo's wife, and he was supposed to run away with her. But I think Rosa, there's a whole story. I think Rosa, his wife, had second plans and contacted her father out of New York City. So what seemed like a murder-suicide, I think, was something else. So as we were telling the story about Charles, they had cat balls lit up. They had those big, long strip lighting, and they had a spirit box.
Yeah.
So the guy looked at the picture. He started making fun of her. He goes, I wouldn't leave my wife, and I'm not going to mention it because I don't want to be soft in the head.
Yeah.
On her. All of a sudden, you could hear what sounded like the door open. Boom. Then I got goosebumps now. And you hear heavy, like wooden boots. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. As that happened, you could hear it. Everybody looked. The cat balls all stood up. The strip lights went off. And he came right behind me, stood behind there. And the psychic medium says, who do I have the pleasure of talking to? He goes, it is I, Charles. That kid slumped in his chair and never said a word the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I have goosebumps. Wow.
That is very cool.
That is a cool story. Yeah, you gotta be careful with living people like that, not just dead people like that.
There's a lot of living people, especially
That's for
around
sure.
here. Yeah.
Mackenzie had a question before.
Yeah,
you must have great Halloween parties there with your friends, huh? You have any friends come over and say, hey?
I do. I mean, I do have a lot of sleepovers there, actually.
Oh, she's got great stories,
Usually, I sleep through it, usually, because I make sure usually everyone goes to sleep first, and then I'll go to sleep. but then as soon as I go to sleep, they wake up and they're like, "How do you sleep through this? Like you
How do you deal with that?
yeah, how do you
Yeah.
deal with it? Didn't hear scratching or like, and they just go nuts. They're like, how do you do it? Like you get so used to it. I'm like, yeah. And there's some, I have one friend actually won't ever come back over here. She won't tell me what happened to her, but she got
Really?
so freaked out that she actually left in the middle of the night and she won't tell me whatever happened here. And I was like, you can tell me, like, it's okay. But she refuses till this day not to tell me. She said, we can go over to her house. We can go out anywhere else, but I'm not stepping 1 foot back into your house.
Wow. And she won't tell you. That's the strange part.
That's the strange part
She
because
tried-
usually everyone tells me their experiences, but with her, it
Yeah.
must have freaked her so much out where she doesn't even want to bring it up anymore. So that
Right.
gave me indication to I'm like, okay, something really must have scared the living crap out of her. And I'm like, I felt so
Is she
bad.
religious or is it just her experience?
I really didn't know. I mean, at first she was definitely curious. A lot of my friends are curious about the paranormal for sure. They're always like interested, intrigued and everything. So sometimes they want to definitely come over by the house. And she was a little bit interested, but she was kind of skeptical at first too because she really never did a paranormal anywhere, so she never got involved with it. So I don't know if it took her off guard, or it kind of like scared her.
Sure.
Where they realized we're like, okay,
It's
she's
real.
the quiet
It's real.
one. It's real, and I don't want to deal with it anymore. Or
Yep,
that
yep.
usually the quiet ones are usually more of, hate to say it, but usually the prime target. To be honest,
Of course.
Don't
She's-
worry, I had grown men on my team, and as soon as they seen a spirit, I never seen them again.
Yeah, they just go.
They spend thousands of dollars on equipment. Look what I got. I seen this on TV. I bought this. I got this. Hey, I got a deal on this. It's like, and they show up with backpacks, all this equipment. They set it all up. They see one ghost. They're
And
out
then
the
they're
door.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
Never see them again.
That's
No
what I'm saying.
doubt.
He wants, and they. Well, what happened to you? I don't know.
Would our neighbors go on, because I saw the question?
Yeah, there's a question here. Yeah. I
with
just want to make
neighbors.
sure we get to the audience question.
Well, we have neighbors, they see stuff, or they saw stuff kind of like red eyes in the windows, and
Oh.
they make big circles. And I mean, a lot of people who know the house, or they heard anything, or they saw something, exactly, because they're crossing the street and walking kind of like so they come
Oh, wow.
But it sounds like it's not just a house. It sounds like it could be part of the land.
The land. I mean, and what's weird too is that I think it also goes down from generation because I remember I was working outside before, and I see these two like little kids, and they must have been like maybe like 7, 8 years old. And they're like, "You're the girl that lives in the spooky house." So they must have got it from their parents saying, "Stay away from that house because that house is gonna get you."
Yeah.
And I think some neighbors knew too, because we had, sorry, but both parents, but they were from Romania, next door, and they were really good. When the babies, she was always there, and kind of like, and I told her kind of like that Courtney is always kind of like cannot sleep, and she said, make sure you always wear the pajamas inside out. Don't wear the pajamas, right? And I'm like, Mariana, what is the deal on that one? No, witches cannot go on the kids. You have to put the pajamas inside out.
Right.
And she never wanted to admit that she knows something by the house, but she gives you all these little hints what to do.
I love that.
Yeah.
They say,
I love those
something
folk
like,
magic
Mariana.
tunnels. Yeah.
There's one more story I want Elka to share. Actually,
Okay.
tell them about the Bible.
Oh,
I know. I just said that psychically. I said, "How can get the Bible ready?" And
Yeah.
Chris said,
You guys are so connected. So,
"You guys."
but I love your neighbor telling you all this folk magic, sort of.
Yeah,
Not magic,
yeah.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's very Romanian.
yeah. And then when I said to her, is there anything what you want to tell me? No, I don't know. Okay. I'm kind of like, yeah. Don't tell me
That's
that.
funny.
I said, there's a reason behind, especially you from Romania. You know stuff.
That's
No,
funny.
no. Yeah. She always kind of like, make sure that you have pajamas.
Do you want to see a Bible that some entity shredded?
Yeah.
This
Okay.
Bible, this Bible was put way up on top of the kid's shelf by Joe Frankie, because Joe's like 6'2", 6'3". when they were
Okay.
little,
Kind of like
Elka,
really tiny pieces.
Elka gave Joe her grandmother's Bible in German. So Joe went way up on the top and put it there because the kid said something came out of the closet. So that was the night that Lorraine said, I can never come out to the house. That it was a really bad investigation that night. So Orlando's like, I wish I could sleep over. He goes, I don't want to leave you guys alone. So they tried burning sage, everything. So they like, guys, get out of the house. Go do something tomorrow. Get your mind off stuff. Well, we went out tag sailing. When we came back, I went to go in our bedroom, and there was unburnt sage thrown all over our bed. Then I hear a loud scream. And this is what Elko came up with.
This actually was all over the kids' floor, kind of like spread it out.
Oh, really? And that was on
floor.
top of that
That was-
closet.
I mean, I actually had to get a small ladder to
You
get
can
it.
see
down.
all the pages. It was blowing all over the place. And I felt bad because Elko was bawling. She goes, that's my grandmother's Bible. What happened?
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to say because the closet door was a bifold door that was pulled open and the stuff on top was blown out and it was shredded. And
Oh no.
called Joe and
I'm so
Orlando and
sorry.
they're like, this is incredible. They're like, what are we going to do now?
Oh, that's so
So-
sad. That's such a family heirloom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, most of the time, this is
Like it.
actually still goes back in that closet. I don't know why, but it's still kind of like the place and the same cross is still hanging.
there.
Oh, we hung it back up because there was last year. No, when did you move up in the attic?
Actually, not even what
2 years
now?
ago?
Right now?
No, when we
No,
were
that
working
was the
there.
first. No, we hung up the shelf in the small room. You wanted to have another shelf.
Oh,
Three
in
years
the-
ago.
No, it wasn't 3 years ago.
When you were moving in.
In the small bedroom? No.
That was
I've been in there. No, I've been in there longer actually. I've been in there since my freshman year of high school, the smaller bedroom. And I wanted to make it kind of homey looking and everything. So me and my dad made a shelf. It was maybe 2 years after I moved in there. So we put it in there and we took down the cross because we had to get in there to really like nail gun and everything. So as soon as that happened,
I was downstairs in the living room, and all of a sudden I hear that awful crowd. I mean, we have a German Shepherd, okay? So, but this was not the dog. So I'm kind of like, I looked around and I'm kind of like yelling up. I said, "What are you guys doing?" "Oh, we just moved the cross and put up the shelf." I said, "Do me a favor, hang this thing up again because I don't know, something doesn't like it." I was kind of like really upset. There was a big crowd so the cross is hanging in the same space again.
Wow.
And that's the same thing like the Bible. It's kind of like in the same space.
well, I have to say that small bedroom is probably the safest bedroom. I have to say. I mean, when I moved back in there, I had to say it actually was the most peaceful room in the house.
But
I
it was
actually
ground zero.
It was ground zero at one point, but after all, like I think all the blessings and how many people actually came in that house and into that room, I really think that's really such a peaceful room. So when my sister moved out, so then I decided to take the attic again, which was probably not the best idea. But when I get, when you get older, you start getting more crap.
Yeah.
And I like the antique shop and everything, so I wanted to start hanging up more stuff and everything. So
Of
then
course.
Courtney took it. So I actually just got off the phone with her, and she said hi to you guys, by the way, my twins. So
So the reason why she said it's peaceful, do you guys know who this guy is right here?
I can't make it out.
I mean,
Looks
That-
familiar.
That's Bishop McKenna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bishop McKenna. I'll tell you a quick story about him. Bob Baker went to go pick him up. He called us up and he says, "Jay, I hope you understand what this means." He goes, "I got to ride to the bishop all the way to your house, listening to about God and Jesus and riding all the way back." He
Right.
goes, "You have all his snacks, the salami, everything that he likes." I said, "Yeah, we went out, got a whole big spread." He goes, "Oh, great." He goes, 10 minutes away. 5 minutes later, he calls up. He goes, "You're not going to believe this." He goes, "If this was any other house," he goes, "I don't think so." I said, "What's going on?" He goes, "The bishop's secretary just told me that the bishop wrote on a piece of paper that while he's waiting for Bob to pick him up, he got hit with a mouth infection and couldn't speak."
What?
And yeah, he lost.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So he wrote on a piece of paper. He said, "Tell the Yaples I'm still coming up, but I'm not going to announce when." So he came up 3 months later. And I heard this little knock on the door. And you know how we are being in the trade fields, we swear sometimes. And
Of
I
course.
heard this little knock. I thought it was the neighborhood kids playing games. So I went to open the door. I said, "Who the?" And he goes, "Mr. Yaple, that's strike one." I'm like, "I'm sorry, Bishop." Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I swore at the bishop. Never do that again.
yeah. Well,
I grew up in a Catholic church, so I swore many a priest.
Yeah.
So I just want to start because we are starting to run out of time.
oh my gosh, that is
And
going. It's been an
I
hour. and
wanted,
45
you guys are doing the hollow.
Yes.
Yes.
You guys, that's what you wanted because
Chris.
Benny and I would both be there also. I'm doing my
What?
spirit art.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
Dave,
tell us what's going on here. Just want to talk about it.
go ahead, guys. This is your expertise. I'm just a storyteller.
That's you, baby.
My baby. So I definitely wanted to come down, especially I heard Chris is also be involved in after.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm actually sponsored with them. So
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you,
cool.
Chris.
So I feel like I wanted to kind of be there and kind of like help out and try my best. Especially for being 19, I have to say doing this is really young and it's not the easiest field to do it with. So and I'm really glad that you guys are doing it. I'm glad to be coming with you guys and having some great support
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah.
Yes,
It's great when your parents support you in this. Believe me.
and that's
It's
why I'm
great
also
when your parents support you in it.
That's what I'm
You know?
saying. It's
And,
glad to have parents that's a support, and that's why I'm also doing it too to help out people also my age or anyone that has also
Great.
no understanding about it. I want to give out as much as I can after dealing with this my whole life. I want to give out as much as I can to anyone who needs to.
That's why I got into my spirit art. That's why I draw everything I see.
Yeah.
This, and I'm going to be showing it at the Hollow if you want to see. Plus, I'm
Right.
also giving a spirit art class. I'm calling it, sketching with the spirits.
Oh,
That's
wow.
a class I'm going to give a little drawing class and then show people how to, and a little meditation and drawing. But that's how I got into drawing because I couldn't talk about it when I was a kid. You don't know how
Right.
lucky you are
You're
right
fortunate.
now that you
I
can talk
know.
about it.
I was about to
You
say,
know?
'cause I talked to a lot of people too, and a lot of parents really never accept it. It was more hush hush, keep it in the house, don't say anything, don't leave it out of the house.
Yeah, yeah.
So growing up, I'm glad to actually able to express myself how I am now because
Yeah.
if I really didn't, I think I'd be going nuts by now, to be honest.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Oh, yeah. It gets stressful after a while, especially growing in an environment like that. Because, like I said, I grew up in a house similar, maybe not as bad as yours, but
But you
I
can
grew up
talk
in a
about
house similar to you, and I started seeing things when I was 3 years old. So I started at an age that I had no understanding of it. And I'll be showing my spirit art. If you want to stop by, say hello, and check out some of the stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Get
You know what I mean?
first.
And if you get a chance, you want to stop in the class I'm getting, that'd be cool too. I know it's a little hard to leave the table.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We'll have a
We're there.
too.
We sell merchandise. We have T-shirts. We sell the books. We have Elka's got
Perfect.
all kinds of different things. So we can let Mackenzie go. We kind of rotate. So somebody.
Yeah, even Chris, you could come too. I mean, I'd be more than
Well,
welcome.
Chris-
Anybody
Chris will
coming
be
in
there. Chris will be
Yeah.
there.
I'd be happy that you guys come in. But
oh
you'll
yeah.
be there.
One thing.
Yeah,
Jay.
Go ahead.
Jay,
What?
make sure you bring the baby. Bring your mascot.
Oh, Henry. Oh, you got to see Henry. Guys, I got a sense of humor. This is our mascot. But
You have a
Elka does
mascot.
craft fairs, and we were up at a small town up in Granville, Mass.
He's
So
great.
I saw the chief of police in the morning. I said, "Would you like to take a picture with Henry?" He goes, "Who's Henry?" So he said, "I'm busy, Jay." He goes, I'll swing by after. So he's walking. He's got his cup of coffee in his hand like this. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. He's half asleep. I take Henry, and I'm like, "Hey, Bill." He's like, "What?" I go, "Catch." He thought I was throwing him a live baby. He
Oh,
slapped
no.
the coffee cup, grabbed the baby. His eyeballs popped out. He's like, "Oh my God, Jay." He goes, "I thought you were throwing a live baby at me."
That's all. Very cool. I like man. She hates dolls, but I got all kinds of because
No,
I
I don't
figured
hate
they're great
dolls.
trigger objects. Oh,
I don't
you're
hate dolls,
crazy.
but
You
I
don't
rather
like
host.
dolls.
Can I just say something really quickly? This is Joshua saying that you're also going to be at the Boonton Elks on
Oh
July
yeah.
10th.
Hey Josh.
Hi,
Yeah.
Josh.
Yep,
Yeah.
and I probably will be there. I live really close to there, and I try to go every month with Karen Gale. So,
Oh yeah.
Chris,
Yeah.
will you be there that night?
Yeah, I
Okay, great.
I told them I will never miss when
Okay.
they come. So
Perfect. And then the other question in the audience and everyone's question is, do
We
you
gotta make
still
this
host?
quick, Jenny,
Do
because
you
we
host?
got
I know. Do you still host paranormal investigations? Like, do you host teams?
We
Okay,
do.
perfect.
But we don't. We if we have people come over, we usually stay with them now. We don't let people
Yeah,
go on
we
their
have
own anymore.
one
Yeah.
Just for their own safety,
one-
right? Okay.
because, yeah.
Fair enough. And pick and choose. You have to be careful. Okay. And also, can I just say, Mackenzie, you are so impressive. I'm so impressed with you.
Thank
Really.
you. I know it started off quiet. Usually the talking part is not my part. I usually deal with the technology part and I work with the
Yes.
background
She's
stuff.
doing
So.
right now. She created a new banner.
You're amazing.
And flyers, and she
Please.
just ordered the stuff for the T-shirt. She also created the cellar, so because she wants to
The
do cellar, basement, yeah. She wants
Wow.
to do
I
basement
mean,
floor, so she worked on that really hard to get that straightened out, and yeah.
So yeah, talking maybe
you
not my
must be so
specialty.
proud.
I am so
No,
proud
really,
of her.
you're very impressive. And please say hi to me too. I'm doing a lecture and a workshop at the Hollow.
Oh, that's
So
really awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are
come see me.
and you
Yeah,
have,
we'll both be there doing our thing
Yeah.
also. Besides booking people on the show, so
Right.
we're gonna be doing dual things.
Thank
That's
you so
awesome.
much to
Thank
all
you,
of you for
Lily.
being
Thank you
here.
for having
I
me.
appreciate it. Thank you, Chris.
Have a good night.
you're welcome.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
See you
Just let me say goodnight, and then so I just want to thank everybody in the audience. I want to thank everybody that
Yeah, good
for the
question.
great questions tonight. We had some great questions. I want to thank you guys all showing up tonight and giving us. This was a great show. We had a good time tonight.
Very good show.
We got a lot of information. Chris, you disappeared a little bit on us.
yeah,
but,
don't worry about me.
we
Don't worry
just
about
couldn't
me.
hear you.
Don't worry about me. I'm in the
We couldn't
shadows.
hear you.
He's doing his ghost impression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to tell everybody in the audience, thank you for coming. And I want to make sure you guys go out there ghost hunting. Whatever you're going to do out there, be safe. You want to look for ghosts. You don't want to be a ghost.
no.
Ciao, familia. Good night,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you all. Nice to
Good
meet
night.
you.
Good night. Thank you, guys.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, how you doing?